Okay, so we'll deal with access specifiers in Java today. What is access specifier? So before going into the actual concept of access specifiers, let me demonstrate you one point. I'll create a file. So in this directory called Java.s, I have some files already written, right? So there is a file called test.java. So where is this test.java saved? In Java.s folder. So let me create one more file with same name, test.java, in the same folder. So what is the alert you're getting? Test.java already exists. Do you want to replace it? So that means what? If I now click on no, it will not replace the existing test.java file. Instead, it is going to create a new file, but I have to give a different name. Instead of test.java, I have to give something else. Then it will work. If I click on yes, then the old file test.java will be replaced. That means that will be removed completely and a new file will be created. So what is there in old file test.java? So you have a program containing a class called student details, and then you have another class called test in which main method is defined, right? So this file will be lost if I click on this yes button, and a new empty file will be created if I click on yes. But if I click on no, what will happen? It means that I need to give a different name for it. Instead of test.java, I have to give something else. Say I'll give test1.java. So now if I click save, directly it will be saved. So what do you understand from this? In a same directory or in a same folder, you cannot create two or more files with the same name and extension. So that is the meaning of this one, right? So why this is happening? Because the file system on your computer will use something called namespace. So if you want to create multiple files with the same name and same extension, you can create it in different folders but not same in the same folder. So I can create another test.java file in some other folder but not in Java.s. I can create one more folder, a subfolder for this Java.s, and there I can create it, or any other folder other than Java.s. Go to some other folder in your computer, and there, if there is no test.java file, there you can create it. But if in a folder already there is a file with that name and extension, you cannot create another file with the same name and extension. So that is not permitted, because if you create in that way, if you are allowed to do so, when you try to open the file by mentioning the name and extension test.java, which file has to be opened? How will the computer know, or the operating system knows which to be opened? You may be intending to open one file, but it may open another file, right? So why this is happening? Because there is a name conflict. We call this conflict as namespace collision. What is namespace means? uh, Set of all names that you can give for files is called as a namespace. Not just files, even for folders also. In mathematics, you have something called space. Space means what? Set of all uh, object names or something. So similarly, in programming, namespace means the namespace is nothing but a set of all the files names, that is the program names that you give in your program. Even in your program also, when you're trying to create more than one variable with same name, will it allow you? It will not allow you to create two variables with same name, right, in the same scope. In a different scope you can create, that means in a different method, in a different class you can create, but in the same class, in the same method, you cannot define two variables or more than two variables with the same name. that will not permit because of the problem called namespace collision. Okay, so why I'm uh, using this namespace collision means, to avoid this namespace collision, Java introduces a concept called packages. Okay, so what is a package means? A package is simply a folder or directory. Okay, so why we need to create these folders means the same problem, to avoid the namespace collision. If you want to create more than one class with same name in two different files, or you want to create two files with same name but the same extension .java, instead of storing them in a single folder, you can save it in different folders so that there will not be any namespace collision. So that is the reason why packages are introduced. But literally packages are nothing but folders in your Java programming. So why they are introduced means, what is the purpose of it is to avoid namespace collision. Okay, so what is the purpose of introducing packages in Java? To avoid namespace collision. And what is a package? It is nothing but a folder or a directory where your Java source files and class files are stored. So we'll not deal with the packages as of now. Okay, but we need a little introduction, brief introduction about packages to discuss the actual topic called access specifiers in Java. So we want to discuss the topic that is nothing but access specifiers. But before knowing about access specifiers, you need to have a brief introduction about packages. That's the reason why I am giving the definition of package and the purpose of the packages. So, uh, at the beginning during the introduction, I told you that Java uses something or some concept called containers. Code is contained within methods, and methods are contained within classes, and classes in turn are contained within packages. So at the top of the hierarchy, you have a container called package, and within that package container, you have classes, and within the classes container, you have methods, and within the method containers, you have code. So finally, the code is in the last container, that is methods, right? But did we use any package in our program so far? We have imported some predefined packages into our program, but we didn't create our own user defined package in our program. But as per the rule in Java, always code is put inside methods and methods are put inside classes, and classes must be put inside packages. But did we put all the classes that we defined in our program so far into any package? We didn't do that, right? Then if the rule is that they must be defined inside a all the classes must be defined inside a package only, then how we were able to do all the programs till now? They were executing very well, right? Even though we didn't create package and add classes into that package, our programs were still working fine without any problem. The reason behind this is Java provides you with a package called default package. What is this default package means? If you don't define a package, or if you don't create a package in your program, automatically all the classes that you are defining in in that program will be added to default package. They'll be added to default package. So that's the reason why when you are trying to save multiple programs, but in those multiple programs, in two or more programs, you are having a class with same name. uh, you compile it, it will not but it will work. But after that, if you try to run the program, your program will generate an error. Yesterday or day before yesterday, you come across that problem. I asked you to change that class name to something else, and then save the program once again, compile it and run it. Then it worked for you. So the reason behind it, because all these classes are put inside a single package folder, and that package is nothing but called as the default package. And because in the same package you cannot have more than one class with same name, so there is a namespace collision there coming up. So that's the reason why your program is not working there. After you made a change to that class name, then it's worked very well for you. So that's the reason why it happened. So now, instead of using the default package, we can create our own package folders and then put different classes in different packages. They may have same names, but you put them in different package, then there'll not be any namespace collision. That is the purpose of packages, right? So we'll keep that package concept aside. Now that you understood what is the reason for introducing a concept called packages in Java, and why we were able to do our programs very well uh, without even creating a package of our own in our program. Why? Because of the default package. So you need not create any word or any package for that with that name default. Automatically the default package will be created by your Java runtime system, and that will be available for you by default. So you need not do anything. Fine. So now that you understood this concept, let me go into the actual concept called access specifiers. Okay. So access specifiers in Java, they'll tell you, or they'll allow the user, or they'll tell the user that what you can access and what you cannot access in your program. Means what you can access, what you cannot access means the members of a class, the instance variables of the class, and the methods of the class. These are the two types of members of a class, right? So you can qualify these classes with some keywords called private, public, protected. You have seen that public keyword, we have been using it for the main method. So we know about why static and void is given for main method, but we didn't discuss about public word keyword that we use to qualify the main method, right? So that public keyword is nothing but one of the access specifiers. So Java provides you with four different types of access specifiers. Okay. So what is this access specifier going to do is, it is going to tell whether you can access a particular member of a class uh, everywhere in your Java environment. That means within the class, outside the class, within the package, outside the package. In that way you can the access specifiers will tell you whether you can access a specific member of a class or not. So you can restrict the access from one by accessing restrict the access to that members in the entire program. You can allow the members to be accessed everywhere, in every class, in every package, or you can restrict them to be accessed only within a class or within the same package. Like that you can uh, mention the access specifiers. Okay. So one more topic I want to introduce to you here. The topic is called as inheritance. We'll see this concept called inheritance later, at later stage. uh, but before that, I'll give a brief introduction about inheritance also. Just like I gave introduction about packages, I need to give uh, introduction to inheritance also. What is inheritance means? The process in which in a Java program, one class will acquire the properties of another class. uh, and when you say properties, what are properties means? They are nothing but the members of the class. Say for example, I have a class called A. and I have another class called B in my program. Two classes are defined, one is A, the other one is B. A has some set of members, right? Its own set of members, and B also has its own set of members. But I can make B also get the members of A also as the members of B, along with the B's exclusive members. It is just like parents in real time. uh, from parents, their children will be acquiring some properties and features, right? Facial features or some qualities in their behavior and all these things they'll acquire, right? So that is nothing but inheritance in general, right? So one person acquiring some features or qualities from their parents, they are, it is nothing but called as inheritance. So in the same way, in your Java programming, if that matters, in any object oriented programming languages, not just in Java, Python is also an object oriented programming language, so that also has a this concept called inheritance. Okay, so as per this inheritance, uh, members of one class can be made part of another class also. So the whichever class the second class is acquiring all the methods, that class is called as a subclass. And the class which is giving their properties, that means the parent class, this is called as superclass. So A will be called as superclass, which is nothing but in general parent. Okay, and B is called as subclass, which we can call them as child class. Okay, that is a child. So the class B will acquire all the members of A into this B. Along with that, the children will also possess their own exclusive qualities which their parents do not have. So in the same way, class B can have its own members. Along with its exclusive members, it will also acquire the members of class A. Say for example, in class A there are two instance variables. There are two instance variables, say A comma B, and two methods, say meth1 and meth2. And class B has two instance variables, say C comma D, and it also has uh, let us take only one member C, plus one method, say meth3. So along with this instance variable C and meth3, it will also have A, B and meth1 and meth2 also as members of class B, because B we are making it a subclass for A. So B is a child class, or in Java terminology we will use a term called subclass. So subclass B, along with its own features called one instance variable C and one method 3 and meth3, it will also acquire members of class A, that is a superclass. What are the members of superclass? A, B and method 1 and method 2. So they also will be members of class B. So this feature is called as inheritance. Okay, this is called as inheritance. One class acquiring the members of another class. So whichever class acquires other class members, that is called as subclass or child class, and whichever class inherits the uh, members of that class to another class, that is called as superclass or the parent class. So we'll deal with these topics later in detail, but as of now, to make you understand what is inheritance, I just introduced briefly about this inheritance. Okay, so now with this concept, let us come back to access specifiers in Java. So this is related with inheritance and packages in Java. So if you want to understand this access specifiers in Java, then you need to know about inheritance, at least the meaning of inheritance and the meaning of packages. Okay, so now let us consider there are two packages, say P1 and P2. There are two packages, say P1 and P2. Okay, so now as per our inheritance and package concept, in a real world Java program, in a real world Java applications, there may be multiple packages. We didn't create any packages as of now because we are learning now. But in a real world application, there will be a number of packages created, and each of those package will have multiple classes, and some of them may be subclasses and superclasses, because we are going to use in real time inheritance also. Just like we use packages in a real world application, even inheritance also will be used. So when that is the case, a package say P1 may have two types of classes as part of that package, right? So one type is subclass, so it may have a subclass. One, any class can be either a subclass or a non subclass, right? Similarly, in package 2 also, you may have both subclass and non subclasses. That means either inheritance is used or inheritance is not used. So when there is a subclass, what is the meaning of it? It means that inheritance has been used in that package. And when all the classes are non subclasses, then it means that there is no inheritance used in that package. But it doesn't mean that if inheritance is used, all the classes are using that inheritance concept and all the classes are subclasses. Some of them may be subclass and some of them may be non subclass, right? So as such, I classified all the classes that are defined in the package P1 as into two types. One is subclasses and the other one is non subclass. Similarly, in P2 package also, I classified all the existing classes into two categories. One is subclass and the other one is non subclass. So both the packages have two different categories. One is subclass and the other one is non subclass. Okay, so now we can combine these two packages together and generate some relationship between all the classes in both these packages, right? So let me uh, tell you that in package P1 there is a class called A, right, and another class called B. Okay, and let me uh, mark this B as a subclass for A, as a subclass for A. So to mark that, I'll use an arrow mark like this, like this. That means what? B is acquiring some properties or members from class A. So which means that B is a subclass for A. Okay. Then in another package, the second package, say P2, let me create one class called C, right, and another class called D, and this another class D is again a subclass for C. So now if you take A is a non subclass. It is neither a it is not a subclass for any other class, but it is a superclass for B, right? Similarly, C is also not a subclass for any other class, and D is a subclass for C in the same package, right? Then I will create one more class called E in P1. Okay, so this is a subclass for, say for example, F in package P2. So I'll create here F here, and for this F I created a sub package in P1, subclass in P1. So what do you understand from this? You have a class called A which is not a subclass, and you have a class called B which has a superclass called A. So that means B is a subclass for which class? Another class which is in the same package, right? So A is a non subclass in the same package, B is a subclass in the same package, and coming to E is a subclass in no, in a different package, because F is not a member of P1, it is a member of P2, but E is made a subclass for F. So in that way, you can create one class in P1 one package and make it a subclass for another class which is defined in another package, say P2. So that means what? A class can have subclass in the same package or subclass in a different package. So what is the combination you are getting here? Two combinations: subclass in the same package and subclass in different package. And when you look at other class, say A and C, they are non subclasses. They are non subclasses, and A is a non subclass in package P1 and C is a non subclass in package P2, right? So altogether, how many combinations you are going to get is, so altogether you will get four different combinations: non subclass in same package, subclass in same package, non subclass in different package, and subclass in different package. So why I have to make all these four different combinations means because we want to use something called public, private, protected, and default access specifiers in Java, right? So these four access specifiers will be based on these four combinations, right? So what are actually these four keywords? Public, you have actually three keywords, we don't have the fourth one, but altogether the access specifiers are four in number in Java. Okay, so what are those four? Let me mention them here. First one is public, second one is protected, third one is default, this is default public, and fourth one is private. So so altogether you have four different access specifiers in Java. First one is public, second one is protected, third one is default public, and fourth one is private. So when you want to make any of the members of your class, or even the class also, even class also can be qualified as a public keyword. So if you observe, we have used one of these four, that is the first one, that is public, in our every program that we have created so far. So in each and every program there is at least one class, and that class contains the main method. And if you observe, how is the main method defined? Public, static, void, main. We have already discussed about void, which is nothing but the return type of the method, because this main method does not return any value, its return type is void. And we also learned what is static when we discussed about static members, right? So it is a static method, we already know it, but we didn't discuss about public. So what is the meaning of public? Means when a method is created or qualified with this public keyword, or even not just method, even a instance variable also can be created as a public variable. Even when you are declaring a variable int a, that is nothing but instance variable, not the local variable. You can access that instance variable. If you create it as a public int a, you can access that variable or even the method also, which is qualified as public, from within the class, within from outside the class, or even outside the package also in which this class is defined. In all these four types of combinations, that is a non subclass, that this class in which these methods or members are defined may have a subclass, or there may not be a subclass for them, right? So within the package you can access these members uh, in the same class, in a different class which is not a subclass, in a different class which is a subclass in the same package, as well as non subclass in different package and subclass in different package also. Anywhere you can access them, right? So irrespective of which package you have defined them, everywhere you can access these public members of a class. Even class also can be qualified as public, not just methods or variables. Even the class also can be qualified as public. So you can define a class like public class name. That way also you can do. So this public keyword can be used with a class, it can be used with methods, it can be used with instance variables. So when you use them, what is the meaning of it? Means anywhere in the program you can access it, even from outside the program also you can access that particular member, right? So that is the meaning of public. When you use protected, the keyword protected, it will allow you to access within the same package irrespective of in the same class, or a different class which is a subclass, or a different class which is a non subclass within the package, inside the entire package, irrespective of all the other classes, whether they are subclasses or non subclasses. In that package you can access them everywhere, and outside the package in a different package you can access those members in subclasses, but not in non subclasses. You cannot access them in non subclasses. So if you look at our example, for example, now if I create a method in class A, for example, in class A I'm creating a method which is protected. If it is public, I can access that method from within class B, other classes called class B, irrespective of whether it is a subclass or not, but here it is subclass, and I can even access it within class E. Though E is not a subclass for A, I can access that method because it is defined as public. I can access it in E also, and even I can access it in C, even though C is not part of package P1, it is part of package P2. Even in D also I can access it, even though D is not part of P1, and even D is not a subclass for A also. C is also not a subclass. So C will become a non subclass in different package, and D also will become a non subclass in different package, and F will become a non subclass in different package. Here I can have another class, say G, and make it a subclass for A. So there also I can access. When I can access that? When that method or a member is made public by using the keyword public. Okay, so I can access them anywhere. I can access them in the B, I can access them in E, I can access them in C, D, F, G, everywhere. So if you look at all the remaining classes except A, B will come under which category? Subclass in the same package, this one, right? And when you take class A, the class E, is it a subclass for A? It is not a subclass, right? So this will come under non subclass in the same package. Is it is that right? A is in the which package? Same package P1 where A is there, right? Both A and E are defined in the same package. So E will become a non subclass in the same package as far as A is concerned with respect to A, right? So when you take C, we'll see a Will C be a subclass or non-subclass? It is a non-subclass. But is it in the same package? It is in the different package. So it comes under the category non-subclass in different package. And coming to D, even D is also a non-subclass for A. So it comes under non-subclass in different package. And take F, it is also a non-subclass for A, and it is in different package. So non-sub, that also will come under non-subclass in different package. And coming to G, it is a subclass for A, so it comes under subclass in different package. Subclass in different package, right? So in that way, when you take the class A, the remaining classes B, C, D, E, F and G, they'll fall into any of these four categories called non-subclass in same package, subclass in same package, non-subclass in different package, and subclass in different package. Okay, so when you qualify a member of a class as public in all these four different categories of classes, you can access that member. You can access the members of A if they are qualified as public. You can access them in B, you can access them in E, you can access them in F, C, D, C, F, G, everything. X. In all the classes you can access them. Okay, that is the meaning of public. But when you make a member of a class, say A, as protected, then you can access that members from within the same class A and a different class B which is in the same package, right? And it is also a subclass, so it comes under subclass in same package. And when you take E, even though E is not a subclass for A, but because it is in the same package, it can be accessed, so it comes under non subclass in same package, right? And coming to F, F is not a subclass for A, and it is not also part in P2, so it comes under which package, which category, non subclass in different package. So in this case you cannot access a protected member of A, so I am putting a cross mark which indicates that you will not be allowed to access a protected member of class A in non subclass in different package. So that means where in which classes you can access and which class you cannot access. You can access a protected member of A in B because B is a subclass in same package, and you can access in class E because E is a non subclass in the same package, so you can access. That means in same package P1, whatever classes you have defined, all the classes you can access this protected member, irrespective of whether that other classes are non subclasses or same class, subclasses. You can access them within that package P1. But coming to other package P2, here if there are any subclass for A, there you can access. So what are the subclasses here for A? So G is a subclass, so you can access that members of class A which are defined as protected in G, but other classes which are non subclasses, there you cannot access. So that means you cannot access in C because C is not a subclass for A. Okay, and you cannot access it in D because D is not a subclass for A. You cannot access in F because F is not a subclass for A, right? But you can access it in G because G is a subclass for A. So why you can access only G, why you cannot access C, D means because they are in different package. So in a different package you can access it in a subclass, but non subclasses you cannot access it. But coming to the same package in which that class A is defined, the protected members of class A can be accessed in all the other classes of that package, irrespective of whether they are subclasses or non subclasses. So only the case where you cannot access is non subclass in different package. So for protected I am mentioning here a cross mark which indicates that in non subclasses in different package you cannot access a protected member of a class. Okay, so this is about protected. And coming to default public, you can access in the same package in every class, irrespective of whether it is a subclass or non subclass. That means you can access in B because B is a subclass and it is in the same package. You can access it in E because E is in the same package. But coming to package P2, in all these classes you will not be able to access, irrespective of whether they are subclasses or non subclasses. That means what? For default public, you will not be able to access in any other classes which are not part of the same package. That means they are part of another package, that is different package. So you cannot access these members even in this category also. Subclass in different package also you will not be able to access it. So I'm putting the cross mark here. Okay, so this is for what? For default public, right? Then coming to private, you cannot access them even in non subclasses in the same package, or subclasses in the same package also you'll not be able to access. Here you will not be able to access, sorry, here you will be able to access, but here you will not be able to access. Subclass in same package you can access, but non subclass in same package you cannot access it. Okay, so this is private member. So far we didn't use these keywords for any other members of a class except main method. So if you don't use any keyword, if you use public, they'll become public. If you use protected keyword, the members will become protected. If you use private keyword, then the members will become private keyword. But for this default public, you don't have any keyword. Okay, there is no keyword to mention default public for any class member. Fine, but for public member there is a keyword. What is a keyword? So if you want to make a member of a class public, then you have to qualify that member with the keyword public. If you want to make a member protected, then you have to qualify that member with the keyword protected. If you want to make a member private, then you have to qualify that member with a private keyword. Okay, if you don't want if you want to use default public, if you want to make any member default public, then there is no keyword for it. That means you need not use any keyword for that member. So far whatever variables, instance variables we have created in our programs, we didn't use any keyword for them, right? We didn't use public or private or protected, right? So that's why all those variables, instance variables, will become default public members. Even the methods that we created also, except the main method, we didn't use any keyword for them to qualify them as public or protected or private or default public, right? So by default all those members also will be public methods, sorry, default public methods, for which we don't require a keyword to use them. Even the classes that we defined also, they are default public classes because we didn't use any keyword before the keyword class, right? So they are default public. So all the members that we created so far in our programs, in all the classes, including the class themselves, are all default public because there is no keyword for default public. If you don't use any keyword for the class or a method or a variable, then automatically that will be considered as a default public and there is no keyword for it. So that's why we didn't come across any problem. So when it is a default public, we don't have any access restriction within the package. When you go outside the package, then you will have a problem. You cannot access from outside the package in some other classes, right? So we didn't create any packages yet. So all our members are part of default package. So that means all the classes that we are defining will be automatically in the same package. So when you are in the same package, you don't have any problem in accessing the members of other classes. So that's the reason why we didn't get any problem. So did you understand this concept? You can respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you'll have a better understanding when you write a program.
Yeah. So ఇప్పుడు మనం we have done the programs, right? Like two different classes with a main method and a
Yeah,
class with main method and another
yeah,
class. So
yeah.
which the one with main method is a super class and the other one is a subclass?
No, we didn't use the concept of inheritance there. There is no superclass,
Oh,
subclass there. They are
oh,
exclusive to each other. They don't have any
okay.
relationship.
So
They
okay.
are
So we can't call them like a non-subclass or superclass to any of them.
yeah, we can call them as non subclasses.
Oh, okay.
They are simply non subclasses in same package.
Okay, got it. Understood.
Okay, they are in same
Yeah.
package because all the classes that we defined so far are put in which package? Default package, right? That means
Yeah.
default all the classes are in the same package. So when they are in the same classes, same package, then the relationship between them must be either a subclass or a non subclass kind of a thing. But because we didn't use the concept of inheritance, each of those classes are exclusive to each exclusive. So that means there is no relationship between one class and the other class, right? So that's why we
Yeah.
call them as non subclasses. So far we have used only non subclasses in same package. We didn't create subclass in same package, non subclass in different package, and subclass in different package. We didn't come across all such other three combinations. We have used only one combination, that is non subclass in same package.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So we'll see an please remember this concept. I'm recording this video, right? So I'll
Yeah.
upload it to YouTube and send it now itself for you. For tomorrow class, before I start the class, you better go through this video once again and then be ready for the class,
Okay, sir.
so that there'll be a follow up for the program that you're going to see tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
And you said you're gonna send some
Yeah, I'll send
programs.
them also. Both I'll send.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.